MP5 or MP5K? That's the question everybody wants. Classic or upgraded? Well, when you get into the clone guns, they may be great in the wallet, but there are some pitfalls you have to look out for. This is the Century Arms AP5P. Let's go right into shoot it. Before I get too far in the video, let me tell a bit about what we do here at RDR. We're a soft goods manufacturer primarily. We specialize in kydex, plate carriers, soft goods, K9. We don't have a ton of support for the MP5 line, but that may change in the future, you never know. But if you need something for a firearm accessories, a firearm holster, a belt, dog collar, plate carrier, whatever you might need, hit up the website, rdrgear.com. So, back to the Century Arms AP5P. MP5K clone. I'll go over some of the parts and pieces that we have here, the stock I'm trying to use, and we'll go into some of the features we have here. I've already done a review, several reviews on an AP5, and the AP5 runs flawless. We have some really cool content coming up between AP5 and SP5 that Christian and I will be filming very soon. That'll be a fun one because I'm always part of the Just As Gooder Club, right? Now Christian is a proud owner of a true, authentic HK SP5, even came with a very cool limited edition hat that he's wearing, and he didn't bring me back one, but oh well, right? But with the K models, there are some limitations in regards to stocks. So let's start there. This is a very old vintage chote side folder for the K models. This is a 2-pin stock. You'll see like so. And if you look on K models, they are all 2-pin weapons. Standard MP5s are single pin. What I'm finding, which is disappointing because this thing ran flawless after it got back from being stamped, I got it, put the stock on there, and it's ran several hundred rounds flawless. Today, for some reason, it became a musket, and we don't know why. It started out just shooting one round, not ejecting the second round, or not ejecting spent brass. We were broken ejector already. Well, sheet, son. Had so much hope. Well, so much for the Just As Gooder Club, huh? Okay. 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 Zenith, your mag is trash. And then it just simply wouldn't work at all. Beep. What do you got going here, yo? This is the HK mag. Crispy, you broke it. You shot it last, and it knows you don't like her, because you're an HK snob. Cheap ass clones. So we're gonna clean it, have my buddy Jay take a look at it, get her back up and running. Worst case, it goes back to Century Arms to have those guys look at it. But the stock is made for a K, so I don't have any issues there. We tried several magazines, and let's talk about magazines first, where we ran into some things. So the Zenith magazine is in my bag, but what the guns come with, MKE. Now MKE magazines, and some of you guys at home may not know Century Arms weapons, MKE manufactures their products on HK machines and tooling. Many, many years ago, I think it was like in early 70s, Turkey wanted to build MP5s. They had a contract with Germany and HK, and they basically shipped over whatever the machine, tooling, etc., to build these from Turkey on the MKE line. That is one of the reasons why these things take so many HK product parts and crossover accessories. Before this one came to me, I purchased a PTR. I wanted to try a US made product, right? And kind of see what that hype was about. When I got the PTR to the shop, I took it apart, looked in the back end, tried to get the stock on board. And when I went to seat the pins were doing this in each hole. I had to punch them out of the gun to get them out in the first place. I thought that was odd. And then when they got them in there, they were all kinds of wonky. When I pulled the back end off, popped the pins, dropped the lower, there's a lot of unfinished metal in there. I just wasn't impressed with that level of quality. Thank God I had not shot it. I was able to send it back to my distributor, and then this one came. Well, now we got some hiccups with this one. So again, clones are great for the wallet, sometimes maybe hit and miss on quality and longevity and performance. So as we talk about magazines, this is the KCI 20 rounders. These things ran flawless. Both mags ran great the first couple of days. I had this thing in the pistol configuration and stocked. The 20 rounders give that K look, just looks super clean, and it just makes it a very small package. The MKE magazines, the 30 rounders that come with, run flawless as well. I have a ton of these. Today we ran a Zenith magazine, a HK factory mag, the KCI magazine, and MKE magazine. Those were running flawless for a while. We ran a couple of drills until the gun just said no more. The one mag we had 100% failure with was the Zenith. It would not seat and lock up. So I don't know what that's about, but that magazine it was a brand new magazine, just did not want to function at all. So unfortunately that one got tossed, but the HK factory magazine, Crispy was very big smile on his face, ran flawless, the KCIs, and of course the MKE magazines. One thing I noticed on MKE magazines, guys at home, this tab right here, I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, this little oval, depending on the Kydex you use for a MP5 magazine, if you are running it vertical left side for right-handed shooter, one of the things I noticed is that when you go to draw the magazine, this little lip right here can catch. So again, I found this only on the MKE magazines, and then the MKE is not super raised up, it's very flat, but when you look at the KCI magazines, it's much more pronounced. This thing caught every single time. So again, if you look at the two together, the MKE is a very low bump, and the MKE or the KCI magazine has a much higher. I don't know what this weld is. I'm assuming it's some kind of a clamp for the seam of the magazine. But again, this can cause you issue with KCI mags. So again, if you're going to run MP5 magazines on your belt line, I recommend some kind of an elastic magazine. That's going to be the best way to go about it. We are working on something in the future for MP5, but I find that when I shoot MP5 with a belt-mounted magazine, a cross-draw reload is always easier because of the angle and the height of the magazine. Coming from a cross-draw into loading, mechanically, it's much more sound. I'll have I'll have content on that coming up once those things are solidified and ready for purchase. Red dot mount. This is the Midwest. This will get you by, right? Because a good friend of mine who bought an SP5 as well, I did reach out to my buddy Phil at OTB, Only the Best Firearms in Delray Beach, Florida. And I asked Phil what options he had for a claw mount for a K. He had the old school claw mount, super tall. Then he had the newer HK SP5 and the SP5K, I guess they call it, for the HK model. Well, the HK one is $398. That's a lot of money for a mount. The Midwest works, but I have a couple of complaints on it. Number one, to mount this to the weapon, it's a little bit confusing, and each of these little claws, the little wedges in here that lock in place, you have to take all four of those out, get the mount on top, then kind of tap them in, and then align that screw. Not the most ideal in installation. It can be done, but you just got to make sure you evenly torque them, kind of like changing a tire. The other issue I have, if you notice, is how tall this mount is. This is an ADM Armor mount running the Armor HD, but if you notice, to get this off here, you guys can see. So it's pretty tall, right, considering, right? Now you can run irons, of course, but when you add that red dot back on there, that red dot mount, it's pretty high up there. It doesn't interfere too much as far as when you're running some kind of a bracer stock, but if this thing could be lower, it would have been much nicer to be able to get something lower onto the gun like so, but I'm not for sure if this is designed, what the reason for this is, but end of the day, this is a bit too tall for what I would have liked to have on a K. So in hindsight, you probably would have kept this thing irons and left it alone, right? But that's the option there. The third issue I have with this is when you do lock the gun back, you are right there, jamming that corner on the knuckle. That's just where it really becomes a pain in the ass. And that's where the Leapers system comes into play. And I do have some content coming in the Leapers SP5K type rail system, hoping I get this thing back up and running and we'll be able to show you guys the content there. But that's one downside, is having these Midwest type mounts or the HK mounts, is they're just, every time you come back, you're literally locking it. You can see how close the locking lug into the first corner of the 1913 right there is. So again, that's just something to be aware of. It doesn't interfere with the slap, but at the end of the day, it's super sharp right here in that corner, and it's just uncomfortable. But I understand why they have to make these the way they are, because of the locking system onto the actual receiver itself. So that's one there. The barrels are tri-lug and threaded, either or. You can run any kind of your vert grip you want. HK Parts has them right now, super good deal, like 30 bucks. I just didn't get one because this configuration was gonna change with the Leapers upper receiver monolithic mount system. You guys, when I looked at this thing, I have had such a good luck with AP5, the Century Arms line, and then my AP5. I've had no problems with that. We've done a ton of videos last year, the year before on the AP5, still running great today. But this one here, I was disappointed that it worked great for a little bit and then it just kind of went the wayside. I believe it is because of the stock. This is for an HK product. And so we're gonna play with it and see, because when I have the stock mounted to the weapon, there is enough play in there that I think that's causing some issue with the buffer. The rear plate here, it also has some movement. So I'm gonna find out if that's an issue. And then if I can't get it fixed locally, it'll go back to Century. But when you guys look at these, and hear me out, right? The clones are great for the wallet, because when you look at this system here, you got, say you bought one of these new, I think these back in the day were around $250, almost 300 bucks. So if you add that there, add your Midwest mount, say, even if you say even went the HK route at 400 bucks, and you ran your red dot and your mount, you're still gonna be into this whole kit cheaper than, or just at the same price as a factory HK product, right? There's a SP5, I think right now is 2,600 bucks on the street. My whole entire SP5, including suppressor, or AP5, excuse me, including suppressor, wasn't anywhere close to that. So you have to determine whether or not you're looking for that longevity of brand recognition and name, which is obviously has some merit, or you're looking to gamble and you have the skill sets to tweak one of these and tune them up, whatever case may be, to make them run right if in an event you do run into an issue. But I have been very happy with all of the Century products I purchased. I purchased this one, I purchased the one before it. We don't have a relationship with Century. I've been trying for a long ass time. But you know, I do think this is still an option for you guys to have that collectible. Would I buy another K, or would I buy a full size MP5? I'd go full size MP5. Ks are cool. It is a very squished, very compact. It is a cool factor for a fun gun, but if you're looking to shoot PCC in a match, you wanna go to any of the HK training events that Crispy just went to with the Syndicate, MP5 operator courses, I think you'll find having a full-size MP5 a better use for those types of situations and more comfortable to shoot. And I personally have had more luck with those running in the clone configuration. But I'm excited to shoot Christian's. His should be here in a few weeks, and we'll have a full review on that one, as well as some comparison content between him and I. And I'm sure my Century will basically take another HK soul. Guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching. We appreciate the content. If you like the content, you stayed this long in the video, like, share, subscribe, comment, interact with the channel. It'll also tell you when you upload another video. Until next time, be well, take care.